it to you anyway. I have some fun DIYs for you today. So without further ado, let's get crafting. So for this one, we're going to be using this crate from the Dollar Tree, as well as 4 small wooden cubes. And I just placed them down where I needed them to be. And I'm using some wood glue and a little dab of hot glue, and that is to keep them in place. Now, if you're going to paint your box without the legs, you can do that, but make sure to cover the areas where you want to glue them down. And then these are the paints that I'm going to use: Waverly chalk paint in Ocean and my folk art Adirondack. And I'm mixing it because I don't want the blue that strong, and it was still a little too strong, so I added a little chalk paint in Pool. I mixed the paint and set them aside. Now I'm going to be working on the box. I got these silk stencils from Amazon. I've used this one before in my previous video. And here I'm just fuzzing that, placing it on the front of the box, and just eyeballing it to make sure it was centered. And now I took the mixed paint and my squeegee. I started out with the squeegee and realized it was too stiff. So I took a small brush where the bristles were a lot more softer and pliable, and that worked out so perfect. So here I stenciled that on, pulled it off, and you want to make sure that you rinse your stencil out before you do anything else. I went and did that. And then I also did the same thing on the other side. Then I took a dry chippy brush and just dusted the tip of the brush in the paint, wiped off the excess, and here I am just brushing that on. I decided to use some of the Waverly Clear Wax. Not sure what got into my head, but it was not working like I wanted it. The wax is probably old. I've had this for 2 years. Now here it is all done. Now let's add some flowers. Into my bag of leftover fall flowers, and I grabbed these because my theme for this video is blue. So if you notice my blue pumpkin on the stems there, I'm going to use that, as well as some of these leaves. Snipped them off the stem, and now we're ready to go. I got a piece of flower foam right size. I just squeezed it into the box, and now I'm taking my picks. Started with my velvet pumpkin. Now I'm not a florist. I don't have an eye to see what looks good from what doesn't look good. So I'm just putting them evenly according to how they look in my eyes. What I'm doing here, I'm taking 2 pieces and I'm putting them on the same stem and gluing them together in place. You might see me using the heat gun a little bit here. What I'm doing, and this is a tip for you, if your flowers, the leaves on your flowers are all crinkled, just use your heat gun and blast it a couple times. Make sure to stay away from your fingers because heat is heat, or heat is hot. And just blast the leaves to straighten them out, and then you should be good to go. Now a little about this challenge. It is the Autumn Inspiration. This is hosted monthly. Well, the Inspiration Challenge is hosted monthly by Loli from Loli D's Creation and Katie from Lady Red Crafting. This month it is Autumn Inspiration, and their guest host is Jackie from Jackie Burns Creations. The links to their channels will be in the description box below. Make sure to check them out, as well as the playlist. Here I am just checking it out, but this is done. Love it, love it. You'll see more of that in the final reveal. Now on to DIY number 2. Now, if you've been here for a minute, you know that I love reversibles. I like to use the back section of my projects if I can. So that is what we'll be doing for this one. I got this fall sign from, I believe this was Dollar General. Yes, this was in my stash. And I'll be using this leftover peel and stick from the Dollar Tree. So that's what I'll be doing. I'm going to paint some letters to spell welcome with my Waverly Pool again. And I'm going to do that. But before I did anything, let me measure off what I'm going to be using from the wall, the peel and stick. I realized that it was not long enough to go all the way up, but that is perfect because that gives me the opportunity of introducing a little more of the pool right here. So I'm just using a small brush to paint a section of it. I believe I gave this one good coat because this paint is very pigmented. You don't need a lot. Measured off the section that needed to be painted, painted that, dried it with the heat gun, and then just sat that aside while I went on to paint the letters. I painted the letters, dried it, and I'm now going to add some Mod Podge. So I'm doing this before I do anything else. So I added the Mod Podge to the board as well as to the letters and dried those. Next, I took the board and the peel and stick, and I'm just peeling off. I'm starting from the bottom because that gives me more flexibility in working with it, so I know where I need to stop when I get to the top. Peel off a section and worked my way all the way to the top. Then now I'm just using the brayer to force any air from underneath and also to smooth it nicely on the board. So then I flipped it over and used the X-Acto knife to remove the excess. These are some washi tape that I got from BB Craft. I don't remember where I got this. I've had it so long. I just measured off a piece to cover where the peel and stick met the blue section there. Next, I took the letters and laid them down, just evenly spacing them out. And then I'm going to glue those on, but before I did that, I'm making sure that they're spaced out evenly, and looking at it now, it looks like they're not even centered. I did go back off camera and luckily I could easily peel them off without damaging the peel and stick. Next, I took some cement glue as well as a little hot glue and glued those on. It still needed something else, so I took 2 leaves, glued those in the center, took a burlap bow, glue that on top of the leaves, and then to even this out, I just flipped it over and glued down the string so it's not flapping around so much. And that completes this one. You'll see more of that in the final reveal. You could easily call this craft your stash, because that's what I'm doing. I'm crafting my stash. So now I'm taking this arch window and I'm removing the tag from the back. Now I had to soak this part off. Peeling it off wasn't coming off as easily, so I soaked that off. And once I got that off, I'm going to use the rest of my mixed paint to paint all of this. I'm not going to paint the back, just the front and the sides with the mixed paint, and the middle section there, I'm going to paint that in white. Now, if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy you decided to join me here today. Here on this channel, I do lots of budget-friendly crafting. If you're coming over from the playlist and enjoying the content, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below. Now it's all dry. I took a dry chippy brush and a little white paint, and I'm just using the brush and the paint to distress the little sign here. Not too heavy. I don't want it too heavy. Just lightly stroking it, and I will go around all the areas, the sides, the front, until I was satisfied. Now, distressing is optional. If you don't want yours distressed, you can skip this part. So rather than using the stencil to stencil on the maple leaf, I decided to use the actual maple leaf, but it's a little too large, so I took the pen and I'm just tracing off the section that I needed to cut. And once I trace that all the way around, I just use the scissors and trim that down to give me the size that could fit in the middle here with ease. So next, I took this foam acorn that I had and I cut that in 2. And I'm going to glue down the leaf with the cement glue as well as a little hot glue for longer lasting hold. Glue that in the middle and then glued the acorn on top of that. Made a small bow and glued that right in the center at the top. and this one is going to be done. Nothing more is needed for this. No, that's not true. I thought it needed some greenery, so I took some boxwood pick, snipped off a little piece, and just glued that down under the stem of the acorn. And that is it, my friends. Made the bow, glued that at the top, and this is good to go. You'll see more of this in the final reveal. Now this next one is so easy, I would not even call this a DIY, I would call this an hack. So I got this velvet pumpkin, again in my stash from last year, and all I'll be doing to this is just to add some leaves, add some berries, and the rest is history. But I just thought that it was too plain, it needed some little jazzing up. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. So easy, not even a DIY, just a little hack. Now, have you downloaded my free printable down in the description box below? If you have, let me know how it has been working for you. Are you crafting? Are you using it to sketch out your ideas? Are you jotting down how much you're spending at Dollar Tree? Because trust me, those $1.75 can get away from you so fast. The minute you walk into Dollar Tree, those cha-ching sound starts adding up. Ask me how I know that. But if you haven't downloaded the free printable, check the description box below and you can grab that. Now we are here for DIY number 5, the last and final one. This came from the Dollar Tree in my stash as always. So I just removed the tag from the back. I was trying to decide, do I need to do this as a riser? But I think, no, I'm gonna skip the riser idea here. So I decided to do it as a wall hanging sign. So now I took some white paint, the Adirondack chalk paint, and I'm going to dry brush a little midway heavy, not too heavy, but I'm gonna dry brush this all the way across. So I took the chippy brush and I went heavy in the beginning and then lighter on top. So I just did that until I was satisfied with the level of paint that I wanted on here, and then dried it with the heat gun. Next, to seal the paint, I added some Mod Podge and to give it a finished look as well. And then I took these fall leaves or fall scatter. I believe they're scatters because I didn't take them off the stem. They came in a bag. So I took 3 of them, making sure that I had my blue in there because the theme is blue. And I thought the blue added to the yellow is a great combination. So I took the hot glue, added some hot glue, took the hot glue and added some hot glue. I added some hot glue to the back of the leaves, glued those down. And then I thought that this needed something to finish the end or the end of the leaf. So I took the other half of the acorn that I used earlier and just glued that on top of the stem for the blue leaf. And it still needed something else. So I made a small bow and glued that right on top of the acorn, and that finishes that part. Now it still looked blah blah, yeah, needed something else. So I took my letters. These are rub-on transfers. I got this from my friend Tasha over at Sunflower Tasha DIY. We have 4 letters and I wanted to anchor that in the middle, or to make sure that the word fell in the middle. So I added the A first and then the first L, and then just rubbed in everything else. Of course, to make sure that I seal the letters, I just took a little Mod Podge and a small stencil brush and added the Mod Podge over that. Now one of the letters started falling apart, but that's okay, it's rustic. And then I flipped this over, added a string for hanging, and call this one done. Now here comes our Bible verse for today, Jeremiah 29 verse 11 from the NIV version. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. This is one of my favorite Bible verses. I love it. Now here we are for the final reveal. Let me know which one of these 5 fall blue themed DIYs was your favorite. I love to mix things up a little bit, and I thought that blue would go so well. Love, love, love them. I love this one. I believe that this one is probably my favorite, but that is just me. You let me know which one was your favorite down in the comment section below. Don't forget to check out the host channels as well as the playlist. Lots of fall inspiration for you on this playlist, so don't forget to check out each of the videos. I do sell a lot of my crafts on Whatnot. The link to my Whatnot account is down in the description box as well. If you click on that, you will see all upcoming shows that I have scheduled. Be sure to come on over and check me out. There is also a link to my brand new 31-day devotional on Amazon. I will link that below so you can check that out as well as composition books and journals. I have all of those in my Amazon store. And there you have it, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoyed crafting with you today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more creative projects like these. And tap that notification bell as well so you never miss an upload. Need more inspiration? Click right here for other fun DIYs. Happy crafting, stay safe, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye!